Okay, let's start. This is question number 1. The relaxation time for a first order reaction of the type A gives product is. 4 options are given and they are asking relaxation time, right? So question number 1, we need to find out the relaxation time. We represent the relaxation time by the symbol tau. Okay, by definition, relaxation time is nothing but the time at which the concentration of the reactant becomes equal to 1 by E times the initial concentration of the reactant. Okay, so it is the time at which the concentration of the reactant becomes equal to 1 by E times the initial concentration, right? Or graphically we can represent this as, you know very well, for first order reaction, if you plot concentration of the reactant versus time, you will get an exponential decrease curve. Okay, and this will give you the initial concentration of the reactant because this is at time 0. Okay, and you will get some concentration. The concentration of the reactant becomes equal to 1 by E times the initial concentration, right? And the time at which this concentration is attained is what we call as relaxation time tau. Okay, yeah, you know, for first order reaction, rate constant K equal to 1 by T ln initial concentration of the reactant by concentration of the reactant at time T. When time attains the relaxation time, so T is replaced as tau into ln initial concentration of the reactant divided by concentration of the reactant at relaxation time become equal to 1 by E times A naught. So that this A naught cancel, E will go to the numerator, and you know very well ln E is 1. Okay, so you will get K equal to 1 by tau into ln E. The value of ln E 1 by tau, this is 1 by tau. The value of ln E is 1. Therefore the relaxation time is equal to 1 by rate constant. Okay, this is the relation between relaxation time and rate constant, right? And now we also know that and if you see the options, right, none of these options have 1 by K. Therefore we have to go we have to substitute the expression for K. You know very well half-life period is nothing but ln 2 by K, or K is equal to ln 2 by half-life period of the reaction. If I substitute this K value here, okay, what will I get? The relaxation time tau equal to, so in the place of K I'll put ln 2 by T half. So T half will go to the numerator, you will get T half by ln 2, right? This is the expression for relaxation time. Okay, for first order reaction, the relaxation time tau is equal to half-life period of the reaction divided by ln 2, right? And it is also roughly equal to 1.44 times the half-life period of the reaction. Okay, it is very clear from this that the tau value is greater than half-life period of the reaction. Relaxation time is greater than half-life period of the reaction. Okay, now so relaxation time can also be given as T half by ln 2. If you go through the options, yes, in option C we have T half by ln 2, therefore that is the correct option. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option number C, option C. Okay, yeah, now let me go to the next question. Question number 2. If T 75% by T 50% equal to 5, then the order of the reaction is, where T 75 is time taken for 75% completion of a reaction, and T 50% is time taken for 50% completion, that is half-life. Okay, so time for 75% completion, time for 50% completion, this ratio is equal to 5 for a particular reaction. If it is so, what will be the order of the reaction? How to find out? Yeah, this is actually a simple question, and you can answer this question directly. Right? Listen, for any reaction, if time of 75% completion and time for 50% completion, if this ratio is given, say for example, if this ratio is m, then you can write simply 2 power n minus 1 plus 1 equal to m. We can actually derive, but I am giving you the direct formula. If you use this formula, you will get the answer directly. Okay, so 2 power n minus 1 plus 1 equal to the ratio, and here the ratio given as 5. Therefore 2 power n minus 1 equal to, bring this plus 1 this side, 5 minus 1 is 4, or 2 power n minus 1 equal to, this 4 can be written as 2 power 2. So n minus 1 equal to 2 or n equal to 3. So order of this reaction is 3. Okay, very simple question, and you can easily answer this. Right? If time for 75%, time for 50%, if this ratio is given, then you can use this formula to find the order of the reaction. Okay, so try to remember this formula. Right? Now, question number 3. So for question number 2, the correct option is B. Yeah, correct option is B. Okay, next question number 3. Which among the following order of reaction cannot be a single step reaction? Okay, so which among the following order, 0 order, first order, second order, third order, right? Among these order, which order cannot be a single step reaction? Yeah, we know very well, for single step reaction or elementary reaction, single step reaction, right, also called as elementary reaction. Right, for simple step reaction, also called elementary reaction, okay, order is equal to molecularity. Order equal to molecularity. Okay, so if it is a 0 order reaction, then molecularity become equal to 0. Molecularity become equal to, this is not possible. For any reaction, okay, some molecularity should be there, either 1 or 2 or 3, like that. Molecularity should be there. Molecularity cannot be 0 for a reaction. Okay, therefore, for 0 order reaction, okay, single step reaction or elementary reaction is not possible. Okay, so once again I'll read out the question. Which among the following order of reaction cannot be a single step? Yes, for 0 order, right, the reaction cannot be a single step reaction, right? So the answer for this question is option A. Option A. For 0 order reaction, okay, a 0 order reaction cannot takes place in a single step, right? Or a 0 order reaction cannot be an elementary reaction. Okay, so keep this in mind, very important. Now let's go to the next question, question number 4. d ln K by dt at constant pressure equal to, K is rate constant here. Okay, so 4 options are given. In options we have activation energy, Arrhenius pre-exponential factors also there. Okay, so let me take Arrhenius equation and we will follow this expression. Okay, so question number 4, you know very well the Arrhenius equation is K is equal to pre-exponential factor A into e power minus activation energy by RT. Okay, this is the general formula, right, for Arrhenius equation. Okay, if I take logarithm, because we need to find out d ln K by dt, so first let me take logarithm. So ln K equal to ln A minus EA by RT. Now we have to differentiate this K with respect to temperature, keeping pressure constant. So d ln K by dt at constant pressure equal to, okay, pre-exponential factor is time independent as per Arrhenius equation. Therefore this is 0 minus EA by R. If you differentiate 1 by t will give you 1 by t square, and minus of minus become plus. Therefore the answer is EA by R into T square. EA by R, okay, in the denominator we should put D square. So d ln K by dt at constant pressure is equal to EA by RT square. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option C. Okay, so for this question the correct option is option C. Right, yeah. Now let me go to the next question. Question number 5. The pre-exponential factor is called a frequency factor for the reaction of order. Yeah, you know very well. Question number 5. As per Arrhenius equation, rate constant K equal to pre-exponential factor A into e power minus EA by RT. This is exponential term and this one is pre-exponential term. Now the question is, the pre-exponential factor is called a frequency factor for the reaction of order dash. For which order of reaction? This A is called frequency factor. Okay, it is actually called pre-exponential factor. This is exponential term, so it is pre-exponential term. This pre-exponential term is called as frequency factor for a particular order of reaction. What order? Right? Listen, actually when temperature approaches infinity, okay, this become, if I put infinity here, something by infinity is 0, I will get e power 0 become 1. Okay, therefore A should be equal to K. So what does this indicate? It indicates that unit of pre-exponential factor A should be equal to unit of rate constant K. Right? Unit of pre-exponential factor and unit of rate constant, okay, they are actually same. Okay, and you know very well, for first order reaction, unit of K has second inverse unit. Right? For first order, for n equal to 1, the unit of rate constant is second inverse, and second inverse is the unit of frequency. It is a frequency unit. Okay, therefore for first order reaction, for first order reaction, the pre-exponential factor A can be called as frequency factor. For other reaction, it is simply a pre-exponential factor. Only for first order reaction, it is called a frequency factor. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option B. Okay, pre-exponential factor is called a frequency factor for first order reaction. Yes. Then question number 6. Fraction of activated molecules in a reaction when temperature approaches infinity is. Okay, this is also a simple question. Fraction of activated molecules. You know very well, number of activated molecule divided by total number of molecules. Number of activated molecule divided by total number of molecule is given by Boltzmann equation as e power minus EA by RT. Okay. Now, when temperature approaches infinity, if you put infinity here, something by infinity is 0, e power 0 is 1. So when temperature approaches infinity, number of active molecules divided by total number of molecule, okay, becomes equal to 1. So this fraction, number of activated molecule, this fraction becomes equal to 1. Okay, so question number 6, the correct option is option B. Right? I'll read the question again. Fraction of activated molecules in a reaction when temperature approaches infinite is. When temperature approaches infinite, the fraction of activated molecule becomes equal to 1. That means all the molecules get activated. Okay, all the molecules get activated. Therefore, they undergo collision and form product. Okay, then question number. So for question number 6, the correct option is option B. Okay, yeah. Then question number 7. If the impact parameter of a reaction A plus B gives product is 0, then What is impact parameter? It is very simple. Question number 7. Let me write here. Impact parameter is usually denoted by the symbol small b. Okay. Suppose if you have a molecule B here, and if a molecule A is moving in this direction, okay, you take the center of this and center of this, okay, and this gap is what we call as impact parameter B. If impact parameter B, if it is greater than radius of the molecule A plus radius of the molecule B, if it is greater than this, then there is no collision possible. No collision. If impact parameter is less than RA plus RB, then collision occurs. Okay. If impact parameter is 0, that means this gap is 0. That means they come directly and hit. It is called head-on collision. If B equal to 0, we call that collision as head-on collision. Okay. If B equal to RA plus RB, collision just occurs. Okay. Collision is just successful. Okay. So if impact parameter is 0, we call that collision as head-on collision. So the correct option for this question is option C. Okay. Option C. The collision between A and B is an head-on collision because the impact parameter is given as 0. Okay. Then question number 8. The activation energy for the association of two radicals is, okay, what will be the activation energy for the association of two radicals? See, radicals are highly unstable and highly reactive. Okay. Radicals, if we have one radical and another radical like this, okay, if you have two radicals, and you know very well radicals are highly unstable, they are highly reactive. Radicals are highly reactive, so they need not require any extra energy, so they readily react and form product. Okay, so for radical reaction, activation energy will be usually 0. It will be roughly equal to 0. So the correct option for this question is option D. Very simple, keep this in mind, very important also. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Then next question number 9. For a bimolecular reaction, delta U double dagger is equal to, that is change in internal energy of activation reaction. Change in internal energy of activation reaction is given as EA minus RT. It is independent of molecularity. Independent of molecularity of the reaction. Molecularity of the reaction. Whereas change in enthalpy of activation, that depends on molecularity, EA minus MRT. If it is unimolecular reaction, M should be equal to 1. M equal to 1 for unimolecular reaction, and M is equal to 2 for a bimolecular reaction. Okay, so delta H double dagger, that depends on molecularity of the reaction, whereas internal energy, change in internal energy of activation, that is independent of molecularity. Therefore delta U double dagger equal to EA minus RT. So the correct option for this question is option A. Okay. Then the last question number 10. According to Lindemann theory for an unimolecular reaction, A gives product. The order of the reaction when concentration of A is high, when the concentration A high is. Okay. So question number 10. according to Lindemann theory, for an unimolecular reaction A gives product. Order of the reaction when concentration of A high is, okay, we know very well Lindemann unimolecular reaction, this is the proposed mechanism, A plus A, that is two same molecule, they collide, okay, so that one molecule get activated, the other molecule remains in the same normal state. For this step the rate constant is K1, and the reverse reaction also possible, that is K minus 1, and this activated molecule, okay, undergoes further reaction and form product. This product formation step, for this the rate constant is K2. Okay, now this is the general mechanism for unimolecular reaction. Okay, and what is the expression for rate? So rate of this reaction, rate is equal to K1 into K2 into concentration of A divided by K minus 1 into A plus K2. This is the general expression for rate of unimolecular reaction. Now what happened when concentration of A become high? When A becomes very high, so in the denominator this term become very high. Therefore K minus 1 times A become very much greater compared to K2. Therefore you can neglect this K2 in the denominator. If you neglect K2, you will get rate equal to K1 into K2 by into A by K minus 1 into A, right? So we can cancel this A and A. Therefore rate is independent of concentration of the reactant. That means the reaction follow here I made a mistake. This is actually square. Okay, K1 K2 is concentration of A power 2 by K minus 1 into A plus K2. So at high concentration of A, this term become very high compared to K2, so we can neglect K2 here. If you neglect K2, then you will get A square in the numerator and A in the denominator. If you cancel it, the square term will cancel, so we have A power 1. Therefore the order of the reaction becomes equal to 1 when concentration become very high. Okay, so as per Lindemann theory, okay, for an unimolecular reaction A gives product. The order of the reaction when concentration of A become high is, when concentration of A become very high, then the order of the reaction becomes equal to 1. Okay, so the correct option for this question is option B. It's option B. What will happen? Suppose if the concentration is very low. If concentration is very low, then this term become very small compared to K2. So you can neglect this term. If you neglect this term, then the numerator has A power 2, so your reaction will follow second order kinetics. Okay, so at high concentration reaction follow first order kinetics, and at low concentration the same reaction will follow second order kinetics. This is the an important feature of Lindemann mechanism. Okay, yeah, I stop here. We'll continue with a few more questions in the forthcoming lecture. Okay, thank you.